question, and this comes from many reporters. If EU restricts the exportation of vaccines, which they've already initiated the process, and I've already went there, what would that mean to the Ontario?
I think that would be terrible, considering we're getting our vaccines out of Belgium right now, and we'll be speaking to the Prime Minister very shortly and voicing our concern. We need the Prime Minister and the federal government to be fighting for our vaccines for Canada. That's the single number one job right now, making sure that we get the vaccines and we get them here as promptly as possible.
If we don't get the vaccines from the EU, do we have an alternate source of
Well, that's a question I'll be asking the Prime Minister. The other alternative is to ask our friends south of the border, 6 hours away, Kalamazoo, Michigan. They're pumping it out. I keep hearing stories that certain communities, a lot of them are going to waste. They aren't being used 100%, and that's a shame. We know they have a lifespan, this vaccine, and we won't waste a drop here in Ontario. So we'd love to get some vaccines out of Pfizer and Kalamazoo.
This one, the question is, passengers are coming in from other countries.
Yes.
They're coming, landing here. It's not mandatory that they have a test or even they're screened.
Yeah.
Should we change that, given the fact that a lot of other countries have, or are we restricted for it?
So as most people know, this is federal jurisdiction. We're here with Switch Health that are doing a great job. On a volunteer basis, people are coming in, and if they want to get tested, they'll get tested. What we've seen so far, with the few thousand tests that we've done, a positivity rate of 2.5%. 30,000 people are flying in to Pearson every single week on international flights. 2.5% of 30,000, 750 people are testing positive, and with the UK variant. Not all, but a lot with the UK variant and other variants. So it's absolutely critical that the federal government make sure that it's mandatory to get tested both ways. A pre-flight test, and when you arrive, another test right here. So again, I implore the federal government, please get mandatory testing. It's absolutely critical to protect our borders.
The entire time I've been here, 3 people have gone there. I've been here about 3 hours now.
Yep.
3 people have gone through. Is that, and there's been 2 or 3 flights coming in from
Yep.
outside. Does that concern you?
Very concerning. It's unacceptable. We need this is simple, folks. No politics, no nothing. You land in Toronto or other areas, and as far as I'm concerned, they have to be tested. Simple as that. We aren't the first country to require this, and we wouldn't be the last. So I can't figure out for the life of me why we aren't testing every single person that comes through this airport, and for that Ottawa as well, and the land crossings as well. We have to lock down. We're asking everyone else to stay home, asking businesses to close, and we have a very porous border right now.
Mike Crawley sent in this question, CBC, also the
Yep.
financial officer for the Clark's Gallery. Today, Canadian drug manufacturer Providence Therapeutics announced that it began human clinical trials of the COVID vaccine. What should be done to ensure Canadians and Ontarians get priority access to that supply?
Well, I'll pass that over to the Minister of Health. I don't know if you heard that.
Could you just repeat the last part of that question?
Sure.
I wasn't able to hear it.
The Canadian drug manufacturer Providence Therapeutics has announced that they've begun human clinical trials of the COVID vaccine. What should be done to ensure that Canadians and Ontarians get priority access to that supply if it's eventually approved for use?
Well, first it has to go through the appropriate approval process, go through Health Canada to make sure that it's going to be satisfactory and safe and efficacious. But then, of course, we need to protect whatever supplies are available for Ontario. We are advocating with the federal government to make sure that we receive our supply of vaccines from Belgium, from Pfizer, or from the United States, wherever it is. So we need to take quick action to make sure Ontarians can be covered.
Are you worried that we're not going to be able to get drugs from the European Union?
I believe that it's necessary to strongly stand up for Canadian access, and that is something that I know that the Prime Minister is going to do, and we will do everything that we can in Ontario to ensure that that supply comes forward as well.
Okay, could be answered by either one of you, but and this comes from Christina Tagnea from CP24 today. More than 200 doctors and experts have signed a letter calling for military support for long-term care homes. Why aren't the military in these long-term care homes that are struggling? There's some that are more than struggling.
I'll pass that back to the Minister of Health.
Well, that's primarily because we have now an association between hospitals and long-term care homes, and hospitals are standing forward and helping the long-term care homes that are having problems, both in terms of supplying staff as well as supplying PPE and whatever else they need. In certain circumstances, the Red Cross has also been involved. If we need to ask for the Armed Forces assistance, we will do so. But right now we have a system in place where the hospitals are supporting those long-term care homes.
And Minister, this one's to you too, Laura Stone from the Globe Mail. Is Ontario using the newly approved Spartan rapid test? And if so, how many are there being deployed?
Well, we are using rapid tests. We are using them in many locations. We are using the Abbott PanBio and ID Now. But we are using them in a number of locations. They are going to be used in long-term care homes very shortly to provide rapid access to tests. They're also being used in a number of workplaces, and they will also be used in our schools as well as schools open up. So we are using those tests. We have 3 million tests we've ordered, another 12 million, and where they're going to be used in a variety of circumstances and places.
And I still haven't got the answer to this, and I really need the answer because everyone's going to be sitting in the edge of the seat. If the EU restricts exportation of the vaccines, where does that put us? Is there any hope for us to get vaccines?
Well, it will put us in a very difficult circumstance, of course, but it's something that we need to make sure that we stand up for Canada. Other countries are pressing for access for their vaccines. We need to do that as well for Canada. And if we don't get it through Belgium, of course, we're going to be pressing Pfizer and also asking the United States for access to some from their Kalamazoo factory, because it's absolutely vital that we get our population vaccinated and in very short order.
Lucas Myers, from CFRB, hydro rate program expires on Thursday.
Which program?
The hydro rate program will expire on Thursday. Are you going to renew it?
Well, we'll have that discussion with the Minister of Energy, and we're doing everything we can to make sure we support businesses as well as people at home. We understand that obviously being at home, you're using more electricity, and we've supported that program for a number of months. So we'll get back to you on that answer when I speak to the Minister of Energy.
And this one comes from Cynthia, and of course, that's good.
Yep.
Red Cross took almost a week to get into Sunnybrook. There's horror stories coming under there, patients lying in their own urine, and all sorts of problems. Again, why isn't this immediate first responders going to help these nursing homes that are overwhelmed?
So did you say Sunnybrook?
No, it was Sunnycrest, sorry. Sunnycrest.
Sunnycrest. Well, again, we're doing everything we can to make sure that we put the resources in there, and what you were just mentioning is unacceptable. If patients are lying in their own urine, and I'll make sure we look into it and put the resources, whatever it takes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.